Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Shad, and today we are here with a very anticipated video on my end. You saw the title. Today we're talking about the Sacramento Kings. Shout out to Posty in the Who Has Hoops community. You were one of the main catalysts for me even wanting to talk about the Kings, on top of them actually being a good team this year. So you are technically the sponsor for today's video. This year, they're 4th in offensive rating and 22nd in defensive rating, which compared to last season's placements is a very, very welcome improvement. Last year, they finished 25th and 27th in those categories respectively. They've changed the identity, the entire culture and image of this team. And there are many factors that come into this. So one of them being De'Aaron Fox no longer having to lead a solo show, Mike Brown coming in and being a dutiful coach with something to offer and a culture to install, and the fact that they're now playing with purpose. Previous years, this is something I'll touch on in a little bit, but what I mean playing with purpose is that in the past years, the Kings kind of had this like mediocre label placed on them, and they were just a very bad to mid team, and there was never really any expectations for the squad, so they were just playing just to play, and they would always be average, they would always be in the lottery but never good enough to get a super high draft pick, that sort of stuff. De'Aaron Fox this year is averaging 24 points, 6 assists, and 5 rebounds on 52% from the field and 39% from 3. Amidst the really good all-star looking numbers, he has improved a lot defensively, and he is an insanely clutch player, which is funny because I was going to make an entirely separate video about De'Aaron Fox being like a clutch king. No pun intended, but I guess it's fine to tie it into this video. So we are going to start with De'Aaron Fox's clutch gene and just kind of breaking down the importance of it, how it's helping them win games, and just how it's going to bode well for them in the future as they make this playoff/play-in push. I want to take you guys back almost a month ago to November 11th when the Kings played the Lakers and they ended up winning this game 120-114. So we're going to start at the 5-minute mark in the fourth quarter when the Kings were up 108-105. De'Aaron Fox would go on to score 8 of the next 12 Kings points in the clutch in a bevy of different ways too. There was the clean step back mid-range on AD, which was kicked off by the 2-man game with Sabonis. There was another mid-range on Anthony Davis, once again initiated by the 2-man game with Sabonis. For this next play, we saw a little bit of his floor generaling and his game sense and IQ. So he's directing traffic for a guard-on-guard screen after denying an Anthony Davis involved screener. Why is this action so important? It kicked off like this sort of butterfly effect. He calls for the guard-on-guard screen, gets Austin Reeves on him, and 10 times out of 10, that's a favorable matchup. Notice this was the play that Russell Westbrook but there was a blown coverage, basically. Whose fault it was, that's not for me to decide right now because that's not the point. There was a blown coverage after De'Aaron Fox had called for an alternate screener. One, he made the easier choice, calling away AD, even though he had scored twice on him before. If he had stayed with that Sabonis screen that he had called off, Anthony Davis most likely doesn't blow that coverage with Russell Westbrook. It might be reaching, it's a hypothetical, it's fake, it didn't happen, but that's what I feel like. And I feel like De'Aaron Fox made a really veteran-savvy move in calling for that screen on Reeves. This all capped off an amazing 32-point, 12-assist masterclass from De'Aaron Fox, and I mean, it showed a lot of things, not just the clutch part of this game, but the game as a whole, right? So it showed that he is becoming an extremely efficient P&R ball handler, whether it's working with Sabonis, whether it's finding the shooters after he takes the screen and starts his dribble drive. The proof is there, right? He's got the shooters around him, which we will talk about in a little bit, but he is finally operating with a lot of space. He's operating with another star in his team who can facilitate, who can play make, who can get his own bucket. It's a different makeup for De'Aaron Fox right now, and I think that's part of the reason why he's able to excel at this moment, because I think we all knew the talent was there, but I think this year now we're kind of quelling that empty stats narrative that has stuck with his name since he got into the league, and he's on full display now. Now, for this next section, I wanted to talk about something that I alluded to earlier, which was the fact that the Kings are now playing with a purpose. They're now playing to win. Getting an all-star cohort obviously sets a certain tone. It tells the team that, all right, we've been mediocre too long. Our team has just been average for way too long. It's time to make a push. And now they're making that push. They drafted one of the more NBA-ready rookies at the time in the draft with Keegan Murray, who was still trying to find his shot, but I think that actually speaks even more highly that one of their 28-minute per game guys is only shooting 31% from three, and their offense is still this good and their team is still this good, but that is a different point. They've now taken on this whole, like, the more traditional path to an NBA roster, so they've got the 1-2 punch at the top, the one being like, this is our 25-point per game guy. This is the guy that's going to get us and take us to any motherland in any game that we need to, especially in the clutch, like I just mentioned. They got their second star, and now they are filling out this roster with very, very good production role players. The Harrison Barnes, the Malik Monks, the Davion Mitchells, the Kevin Huerters, guys I'm going to talk about right now. I really want to break these guys down because I think they've been pretty impressive this season. Stars can only take you so far, right? And it is up to the rest of the team, the supplementary players, to kind of fill in the gaps where the stars can't. This season, the Kings role players have been performing very, very well for them. Malik Monk came in, he's averaging 15, 4, and 2 on 48, 36, 89 splits, and this is while taking 5.5 3-pointers a game. And this was someone that I said could be in MIP talks before the season started because he was coming over, he was playing with a guy he'd already played with at a different level, and just overall being like a microwave scorer off the bench, someone who can give you a 15 points per game, someone who can pop off for 20, 25 points on a random night. Next up is Kevin Huerter, who was an absolutely massive pickup for the Kings, and they pretty much fleeced the Hawks. Mo Harkless and Justin Holiday, one of the Holidays. 16, 3, and 3 for Kevin Huerter as a role player. Incredible production. Next up, Davion Mitchell. He is still locked in defensively as a guard stopper, and you are going to see some plays on the screen now. Once again, shout out to Posty and the Sacramento Kings film room on Twitter. Boy, oh boy, this guy can really defend, huh? And I think, I don't want to say that his defense has gone underrated because it's kind of like that's the thing he's known for. So it would be really wrong of me to say like it's been underrated this season. But I don't think it's being mentioned enough. And I think it's one of the more important reasons why the Kings have been able to be so good this year. And then this last one I wanted to mention in the role player section is kind of just the spacing. As I mentioned to before a little bit, they have several players who are shooting over 35% from three this year. These are guys that are actually taking the 3-pointers. These are guys that are getting those shots up, and these are people that De'Aaron Fox is finding and Sabonis is finding on the 3-point line. They've been a really good shooting team. It's crazy. It's crazy. A lot of these people can fucking shoot the ball, bro. I'm not sure if I mentioned this part about the clutch stats with De'Aaron Fox, but in case you didn't know, he is tied for the league leader in clutch field goals made with 20 on the season. He is shooting 20 of 32 from the field in the clutch, 4 of 7 from 3, and he's a perfect 6 for 6 on his free throws. When you need a guy to get it done, De'Aaron Fox gets it done, and he does it with great efficiency. Overall, man, they're just really fun to watch. And like I have enjoyed my time seeing them be in these close games again because it's a different feeling, right? Whenever the Kings used to be in close games, whenever they used to have a lead in past seasons, people are looking at them like, all right, how long is this going to last? When are you guys going to bottom out? When are you going to start slipping again? Because that was the standard. That was the brand for the Kings. They've got their stars now. They've got their organizational gimmick with the victory beam, which I have to say is, I think, my favorite NBA thing that's happening at the moment, my favorite NBA gimmick. The Kings right now are a really nice story for even a casual fan to attach to. They changed that culture around from mediocrity and midness to being a team that wins close games now, a team that has stars, a team that can put up 130 points, a team with a really good offense relative to the league, not just for their own standards. The Kings are a team, and they're a team that a lot of people now have to respect. And I like that so far. That is all I got for today. I've been recording for almost 20 minutes, but I feel like this was a really, really good video. So thank you for sticking all the way through if you did. I've been Rashad. I will talk to y'all later. Peace out.